Bill and Ted, what have you got to say for yourselves?
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Welcome to your weekly ticket. It's official! Bill and Ted Face the Music, the third Bill and Ted movie, will be available to watch at home via digital platforms like Fandango Now, Vudu, and in select theaters starting September 1st. Alex Winter revealed during a Comic-Con at Home panel over the weekend that the sequel was 10 years in the making and at one point wasn't even going to happen. Also, Keanu gushes over the new film, saying, "I can't feel or laugh or do anything like the way that working on Bill and Ted does and working with Alex." Dave Franco is set to play Robert Van Winkle, better known as Vanilla Ice, in a new biopic about the rapper. The film, titled To the Extreme, was revealed in January 2019, but it is unclear when filming will begin. However, Franco opened up to Insider about the project, saying, "Rob is such a sweet and intelligent guy, and he's super helpful in the process of getting all the details correct and making us privy to information the public doesn't know. Just talking to him, I can't help but think about the rabbit holes I'm going to go down to get ready for the role." And Sonic the Hedgehog 2 will be getting a theatrical release in 2022. Ben Schwartz, who voiced the character in the movie, confirmed the video game sequel on his Twitter account, writing, "Sonic 2 is officially coming to theaters April 8th, 2022. Jeff Fowler, who directed the 2020 film, is expected to return to direct the next movie. Today we're highlighting Rotten Tomatoes' 300 essential films you can watch right now, and I'm joined by Alex Vo, editor at Rotten Tomatoes. Alex, you gotta help us out. We got a lot of movies on this list. What do you think are the two essential that we should watch right now?
I'll preface this by saying that this list used to be 200 movies, and every year we would debate like which 5 essential movies would we take on and which 5 do we take out. And at the end of the day, I would feel like, well, the movies we took out, I kind of wanted them on the list. So this year, for this year's update, we increased it to 300 movies. So the 2 movies I'll pick, the first movie I'll pick is a movie that's always been on a list since the beginning, and that's going to be Drive from 2011. It's probably my favorite movie of all time. I remember when it was first coming out, I'm like, it stars Ryan Gosling, it has Carey Mulligan in it. It's a Los Angeles story with a synthwave soundtrack, directed by a weird Danish guy. I don't see how this isn't going to be the best movie ever. And I saw it and I was like, that was the best movie ever. And I say that all the time. Every time I watch a movie, I'm like, I hope this is the best movie ever. And it never pans out. Drive was the only time where it actually happened.
Oh, what's your other film?
And then the second film is 1990's Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's a movie I try to watch every year or every other year. I first saw it probably way too early. I think I was like 8 years old when I first saw it. And it just completely blew my mind. It really opened up my horizon of what like movies could be, you know, in terms of like action cinema, how subversive it could be, and just science fiction, and just how weird and scary and violent and just hilarious movies can be. Yeah, I think it stands the test of time.
People are still talking about the ending of that one. Not to, if you haven't seen it, there's still people debating on where the story is at the ending.
And that's one of the great things about that movie is that whether you're for this side or that side, you can't really prove either way. So it just kind of works both ways. Kind of the same with like Blade Runner. Is Deckard a replicant or not? There's ample evidence for both sides either way. And, you know, Blade Runner 2049 kind of touches upon that as well.
Yeah.
And Blade Runner is on the essential 300 list.
Yeah, it should be, as it should be. So, I enjoy both of those movies, but what do you think makes them essential to Rotten Tomatoes?
The first and foremost is that each movie on the list is certified fresh. Because we're Rotten Tomatoes, we're a data-driven company and we collect reviews. Certified fresh is sort of the label that we give to movies when they hit a certain score. It's 75% or higher on a tomato meter after a certain number of reviews. For most movies, it's 80 reviews. For smaller, limited, or classic movies, it's 40 reviews. So so as much as I have my personal choices on the list, each movie is vetted by critics. Each movie has been seen enough by critics and enough of those critics approve of the movie. What we try to do is really try to make this list for everybody. It has action, anime, sci-fi, but also the classics, also romantic comedy. So no matter where you're coming in from, what you're into, you'll be able to broaden your horizons with the list. That was our goal.
How should someone plan on catching up on all these essential films?
The earliest movie on this list is The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari from 1920, meaning that it celebrated its 100th year anniversary this year. And with the list, we really try to hit every sort of segment and era and moment in cinema history. And what I would do personally is pick a movie from each decade. And, from the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, just kind of pick the ones that you haven't seen that sound the most interesting. And just kind of, so that's 10 movies right there, and just kind of pick away at the list that way.
All right, nice. Well, thank you very much, Alex Vo. Available to watch at home on Friday, Tijuana Jackson, Purpose Over Prison.
For me, I just believe that if you're going to be a life coach, you got to be a life coach 24/7 because life is a full-time job.
Why you always got to speak in parables?
I'm going to need travel permits once this take off.
I'll think about it.
What you mean you're going to think about it?
Do you need me to speak in parables too?
Tijuana Jackson is a man determined to move beyond his checkered past and achieve his ambition of becoming a world-renowned motivational speaker. When asked to be the subject of a 10-minute student film, TJ leaps at the opportunity. 10 minutes turns into 10 hours, and 10 hours becomes 10 life-altering days of courage and inspiration. Determined to be more than a statistic with a pipe dream, TJ stops at nothing to earn the respect of his family and crush, who is currently his probation officer, by becoming the success story they claimed he'd never be. The film stars Romany Malco, Regina Hall, and Tammy Roman. And available to watch at home today, Deep Blue Sea 3.
Hey, all you Shark Week fans out there. Welcome back. It's our third summer here at Little Happy, an abandoned fishing village in the Mozambique Channel.
Sharks return here each year. Their home, like ours, is under attack from climate change.
Deep Blue Sea 3 follows a group of scientists who inhabit a remote undersea laboratory for the purpose of conducting experiments on sharks. When a huge storm floods the lab, the group suddenly find themselves fighting the very specimens they've created. In the sequel, a conservationist discovers that scientists are once again using the sharks for experiments with potentially deadly consequences. Alright, well that is it for today. Make sure to check out that full list of Rotten Tomatoes 300 essential films. We'll leave a link below and let us know which one is your favorite. I'm Khail, and I'll see you next time.